questionable. They're gonna hear everywhere. They're gonna hear them for a long time. And yeah, I mean, the features that I put on there are really important too. I feel like it was like a real team effort, family effort, making this whole project really come together. And I just think, especially at the time we're at now, it's going to uplift a lot of people and make them feel good, not only now, but moving forward. It's going to create a lot of dope moments. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's called the Saga of Wiz Khalifa, because my career is just filled with dope ass moments. And I want to make more and more dope moments, not only for myself, but for my fans, the people who support me worldwide.
Wow.
I like that. I
Yep.
like that.
So,
Steph.
Charlie, ask him something.
So I know like you're very creative with constructing how your album goes. Like how as far as like features, how do you pick and choose how who you want to be on what song and how do you structure that?
I just really go off of my feeling. I look at every song as like an art piece, and an opportunity to do something that hasn't been done before. So, when I get records and I record all the time, I'm always in the studio coming up with ideas, working with new producers and things like that. But of course, some of those ideas are going to stand out. And when I do get those standout ideas, I just try to maximize them and make them the biggest and the best possible. And sometimes, making a record bigger and better is out of my hands. Sometimes it's in somebody else's hands. These are stars who carry a lot of weight on their own, have a lot of fans on their own. So for them to come to the table, bring that energy, and also just collaborating and us being, on the same level at that time, I think it just makes it more fun for everybody, especially on the records where it makes sense. So I try to be sensitive to that and just, add it in when what I feel necessary.
One of my favorite records, and I want to get into, is with K Camp.
Yeah, yeah.
Clouds in the Air. That record, it feels like you on this project, you had like a West Coast feel to me.
hmm I feel like my general sound has always been kind of West Coast inspired, whether it be G Funk, whether it be DJ Quick, Sugar Free,
Mm.
whether it be Bay Area, you know what I mean, Too Short, E40, or even a lot of the newer cats that I came up with. I've always been really inspired by the West Coast, and just to be identified with some of the greats like Snoop or like Be Real, some of the biggest smokers out here. And now with the music, to have an identifiable West Coast sound, it's kind of cool to me because the people that I work with, like Ty Dolla $ign and Mustard, I consider them pioneers out here. You know what I mean? I've been on the
Yeah.
West Coast for about 10 years now. So to be able to just like kind of get in and go with the flow and be able to contribute to the sound, uh, I'm really happy to be able to do.
Can we get into that record, Clouds in the Air? One of my favorite joints. Can you
Absolutely,
introduce it?
man. Shout out to my homie K Cab, man.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
You know what it is, Superstar JVIP Saturdays. She's Charlie in the building. Got the homie Wiz sparking up.
Gang,
Yes.
gang.
Now, Wiz, I wanted to ask you, right? And when you said notable moments, uh, when did you really find, like, when the TikTok, you know what I mean, went crazy? When did you say, like, yo, this is like a 2017 record with Ty Dolla $ign? When did
Yeah,
you find out that it was really like, this is like the national anthem, group dance anthem for everybody, families?
it was cool because it did it on its own. Um, I think I forget the guy's exact handle, but it's got Cam in it and something Cam. But he came up with it, and he's actually like a popular TikToker. So the things that he does, they pick up and they go. He did it on his own. I didn't reach out to him, ask him to do it or anything, but it just showed everybody in the whole world how to move with it. And that's a good thing about TikTok, is that it spreads across the world. It spreads across age groups, and especially with everybody being home and being quarantined, it gave them a chance to, kids to show their parents and their parents to identify with the song because of the sample. So I think it just spread all the way across the board because it was something that was familiar for everybody. It was touching the generation now, and it was touching anybody who, supported the original version of the song, or supported Ty Dolla $ign's voice, or
Mm-hmm.
supported me. It brought all of those fans and all of those people together to make one dope moment.
That's good.
Wow.
I like that.
Yeah.
So we're talking social media right now, and I know you have your Stone Alone, which is a pretty dope artwork, by the way. I like that with
Thank
the
you.
whole Home Alone theme going.
Thank
So what made you think about doing that? And I seen your mom was up there too. That was pretty dope.
Yeah, my mom always come through to smoke out. I was just being home and being bored, really. Shout out to Gilly, Gilly the King. He's from Philly. He started up
Really.
yep. He started up the KUSH Up challenge on Instagram, where it was like you take 10 puffs at a joint, then try to hold the smoke in, which is like an OG smoker game. Like anybody who gets super high, if you're trying to be with us, you want to hang with us, that's like the initiation type of thing.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So OGs know about it, like real smokers know about it. But of course, for this generation and for people online, it's something fun, it's something cool to do. So I just figured it would be cool, especially during this time, to dedicate, an hour or two of my time smoking with the fans and just tapping in with people, playing some new music, and just seeing what's going on with people, putting them up on smoking etiquette. You know what I mean? A lot of people learn how to smoke correctly, how to smoke cleanly on the show. So, it's fun and it's educational.
Yeah, you always preach about smoking correctly too. I remember it's been you came to the station like probably like 3 years ago and was always saying, what I mean, it's different ways to smoke,
Yeah.
And was it any time when the challenge? Did you see somebody like, yo, he's about to kill himself?
Oh yeah, a lot of people like their eyes pop out of their head like during the challenge, bro. It gets wild.
Now, another record I want to get into is Contact. Real big, real dope record.
Thank you. Featuring my homie Tiger.
Tiger. Yeah. Now, what inspires you to put Tiger on that record? Or did he have it? Or
yeah, that was actually his record. It was around the time he was wrapping up his album, and he had just told me like, yo, I got a couple records laying around. I think this would be a real strong one. As soon as he played it for me, I agreed with him and went in and did my verses. And yeah, that was just something that I held on to because I knew it was consistent with the sound that, I wanted to bring forward to people, but I didn't, I wanted to drop it at the right time. Mm-hmm. And, we put it out right before the Saga Wiz Khalifa came out, and we put the video out, and the video is almost at 10 million views. So I feel like I waited perfect timing and everything. So it was a good play.
Can I get into that record? Could you introduce that record for me?
This is at Contact featuring Tiger off of the Saga Wiz Khalifa. Let's go.
Let's get it. You know what it is, Superstar JVIP Saturdays. Wiz is still here. Yeah. What's going on?
Getting stoned. About to roll up another one.
Roll up. How many you rolled up today?
Honestly, I don't even know. I smoked a 7-gram joint earlier. That shit was crazy.
Wow. 7-gram joint.
Yeah.
Now the merch is looking crazy too. Now,
yeah, thank you.
You got to send us some joints over, man.
I got you. This is the Diamond collab, and then I got the Wiz Khalifa stuff. I got some merch design behind the album too. So that's probably what I'll end up sending y'all is the merch behind the album, some T-shirts and some ashtrays and some socks and shit.
Now, are you gonna create a clothing line for the stores?
Nah, I'm not into doing a clothing line, man. I'm more into just being my own brand, mm-hmm. and just just being able to sell whenever, whatever, and not having the whole label of fashion or designer or anything on it. I'm not inspired by the fashion industry. I'm inspired by icons like Wu-Tang. The W is forever. So you could put that on a fucking piece of shit and it's gonna cost more.
Yeah.
That's the type of branding that I'm into for Wiz Khalifa and for Taylor Gang is to, it's not necessarily the material that makes you feel some type of way, it's what you have on. So that branding comes through my core fans and it comes through my lifestyle. And I'm, like I said, the fashion industry doesn't inspire me. I'm just more into like just being an iconic brand on my own.
Wow. Yeah. Charlie, I know you have to ask something.
I know. All right. So, we talked about the early, like your new music. I want to just step back and take about early in the careers. It's a lot of social media back and forth about what's one of your greatest mixtapes or albums, and the two that they're comparing is KUSH and Orange Juice and Taylor Elderdice. Like between those two, like which one was like more significant to your career?
I feel like KUSH and Orange Juice is hands down my best and most classic piece of material that I've released. KUSH and Orange Juice set the standard for a lot of things musically, a lot of the way that people carry themselves lifestyle wise, and it shed a lot of light on just a pocket of people that existed that people didn't really know. We're smart, we're stoners, we're artistic, we're smooth, we're player, we're athletic, we do all this shit that everybody else does. It's just we look a little bit different and act a little bit different. And KUSH and Orange Juice was the introduction to that lifestyle, and I was able to brag and able to be, you know, the front runner for it because, you know, coming from an underground background and seeing the success that I was seeing and making the waves that I was in the business, I wanted to inspire so many people coming up after me and wanted them to look at, you know, Wiz, KUSH and Orange Juice, Wiz as their hero. And I was successful at doing that. You know, moving forward, I always focused on, you know, showing people the span of what I could do creatively. So I went on to do Burn After Rolling as a mixtape. I went on to do Burn After Rolling as a mixtape. I went on to drop Rolling Papers as an album. And then I think I did Taylor Elderdice after that. And just the process is kind of what led me to back to a more organic sound like a Taylor Elderdice. And to me, that would be the closest to what anybody could call a KUSH and Orange Juice too, because of how organic and how much of a concept album that was. So those two being put up there as, you know, two of my best bodies of work, I could see why people could gravitate towards those. And I feel like every project that I do has a different texture. It just depends on where I'm at, what mode I'm in, and what I feel like slaps at that time. And, you know, I just try to lock in and just do what I think is best for the fans.
Would you ever do an intimate setting show with just B-side records of all your record? Like, you know, just like, you know how Hov did B-sides, a B-side. Like one of my favorite records is Star of the Show.
Yeah. Well, I would absolutely do a show like that, you know. I would do it and like record it and put it on Netflix or something like that, because that would have to be an experience.
Yeah.
That people like it might be B-sides, but we need to bring it to the forefront to let people know that these are people's jams as well. Because as important as it is for me to make hits, it's important for me to make that organic shit that hits you right here too.
Yeah, man. When I go work out, I listen to Star of the Show every time. And my bars, it's no love lost, but ain't no love shown. Well, but before you leave, I want you to pick out a record for us.
All right, off of the album.
Yes.
All right, go ahead and play. Did you already play Why You Mad with Megan?
Yeah, I didn't want to. Yeah, that's Charlie's favorite.
I told you.
Yeah, I mean that's Charlie's. You know, that's the female.
I play her favorite, and you gotta play another one.
All right, and that's what we gonna go with.
You gotta play Why You Mad, and I want to hear Why You Mad is for her.
Okay.
And I want to hear Out in Space with Quavo.
And one thing before you go, right? Because she wanted to say this. Maybe when next time, and this, you know, just talking about the epidemic, and I'm gonna get to Charlie. Mm-hmm. Do you ever think that will we get back to live shows?
Yeah, we're gonna get back to live shows. It'll be a process, and there's gonna be like. You know, you're gonna have to do certain things to be at the show. Like, I don't think you're gonna be able to be there without a mask on or something like that.
Wow.
But yeah, we'll get back to it. There's so much money in live shows, and that shit it hurts a lot of people's pockets. Mm-hmm. Other than the artists, you know what I'm saying? There's so many other people involved with when it comes to shows that, you know, it has to be back up and running pretty soon.
Yes, man. Thank you. And Charlie, ask him before he leaves.
If we ever get back to doing real live shows and you come up to the studio, I just want to roll one blunt with you and smoke it, because that's been like one thing I always said since 2010.
I got you.
Yes.
It's gonna be a paper, not a blunt, right?
Oh yeah, of course, yes. I don't smoke papers.
I'm gonna show you the new way to roll it too, because the old way was in the how to roll and in the hot tub. That's the old way. I'm gonna show you the new and improved, certified Wiz Khalifa way.
All right, man. Thanks, Wiz, for coming, man. Appreciate you.
No, bro.
Let's get it.
Take care. Y'all have a great rest of the day, okay?
You
too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got it.
One in the books, guys. Great job.